Greetings, guys. My name is Charles. I'm from House of Hoops. Welcome to Balls. Today I'm with Frank Johnson from Be The Student, and we've got Adam Westerhout from Court Fitness, and David Morley from Coach Morley.
What's up? What's up? How we doing?
How you doing, Charles?
Today, guys?
All good.
We're good. We're good.
Living the best life.
That's it. Perth City is where we're at. Best city to live in during this quarantine. Today we're just pretty much going to talk with all my guys here today, and they're going to pretty much talk about their basketball situation, whether they're playing or whether they're coaching, and just hear about them, get to know them a little bit. Starting with Adam. Tell us about what's going on with you and Full Court Fitness.
Well, thanks for having me. It's great to be on Balls. My name's Adam. So yes, Full Court Fitness is something that's exclusive to Perth. Like it's not happening anywhere else in Australia, and I'm pretty sure it's not happening anywhere else in the world. Where we're running training sessions for average Joes. I'm talking like your people that love the game of basketball, but they're not professional athletes. They're not upcoming juniors. They're just people, everyday people that want a little bit more out of basketball than just playing a social game or going for a shoot around.
That's cool, man. It's good that there's always something out there for everybody. You know, training isn't specifically for athletes trying to make it somewhere. You know, other people are just trying to stay fit. You know, it used to be part of the game. It's great that you have such a program like that out there.
Yeah, I mean, there's a place for everything, right? And with all these great programs that we have, both through Frank and through David, right? These kids coming up that love the game, they're going to get to a point. Some are going to make it and some are not. But no matter who they are, they've got that love for the game. And in one way or another, they're going to want to be involved with it later on in some shape or form, right? Yeah. So I'm just creating that avenue for people to get a little bit more out of the game and experience the culture of it, that team culture, what it's like to be part of a squad and work together for something. Yeah. So the community side of it is something that has been, the biggest revelation.
Definitely, for sure. Do you guys have any questions for Adam?
No, but I've been involved and around a lot of the Full Court Fitness stuff from when I first found out about it, probably at its birth.
Yep. 2 years ago.
2 years ago or so. And the sessions are great because there's so many opportunities for adults to play social competitions, but my biggest loss from moving out here from England was I had no team training sessions anymore. Like, I play 3 times a week, but only games.
Yeah.
I'm lucky that I do this as a living, so I am working out every day. Every time I'm coaching, I'm getting a workout in.
Yeah.
But for people that have a normal job, people that are going around, having that opportunity that they can still come and rather than go to the gym and lift weights, they can come and actually work on their basketball game. And there's no way like getting fit than playing for basketball.
Exactly. And I just want to add something to that, Charles, is that one thing that I'm seeing change, right, is, and it comes with this show as well, is there is basketball competitions and there's a basketball community within Perth and WA. But with these guys and the other people that you'll have on your show, what you'll find out is like what I like to call now, there's a basketball scene in Perth, right? Yes. And that's the culture and that's the movement. Correct. And it's creating awareness. It's giving these guys a platform to talk about what it is they do and why people need to pay attention. And the cool thing about that is there's no other sport in WA that does that. You're not going to see that for AFL. You're not going to see that for rugby. It's because the culture and the lifestyle of basketball is unique and it breeds itself for this community where anyone can be a part of it because it's a court, it's a hoop, that's all you need.
Correct.
And a ball.
I mean, I guess for me, from an outsider, like seeing the Full Court Fitness stuff, like there's a lot of hype obviously around it now, but I think it's growing and obviously there's no competition right now, you know, and I don't think there will be, just based on the fact of how well you ran it and how well you've established it. And I think it's only going to get bigger and better, right?
Yeah. So, well, as long as people keep getting older.
That's it.
Speaking of getting bigger, you guys have 3 different locations now. Is that correct?
Yeah, it's one of those things. Like I said, like anywhere there's a social competition, there's people that are passionate about basketball. Correct. And my Full Court Fitness is for people that are passionate about basketball. So it's just a matter of court availability. I know you guys will know. Court availability is a premium. It's hard to come by. And
Very tough.
you know, and that's slowly changing with people like with their own little pop-ups and courts going on. But yeah, no matter what your age and no matter who you're coaching, finding a court is definitely
tragic story.
Getting harder, man.
it's
It's
harder. It's
harder
getting
and
harder,
harder.
right?
Harder, man.
Because you go back 2, 3, 4 years, 5 years. There's no Coach Morley. There's no be the student. There's no House of Hoops training. So with all these things, we're creating. So I don't know. I'm a bit older, right? And then you start getting into your well, let's talk to the council. Let's talk to the state government. Let's talk to local government. Like, how do we get more courts here and there? So that's a bit offside of what Full Court does. Full Court Fitness is doing off the court, where I'm trying to push. But
That's good, man.
more courts, the better, right?
Always,
Amen.
man.
Yeah.
Definitely.
Always.
See, the good thing about having all these guys here, everyone's involved in this basketball culture in a different way. As we can see, Adam here, he's pretty much first A grade players, D grade players, people that are not playing basketball serious but trying to stay fit. And then over here we've got Frank Johnson training elite guys, whether they're 16-year-old prospects or guys that's playing NBL, NBA. And then we've got Coach Morley here, who's bringing all the upcoming kids, young ages, whether they're starting their career into basketball or in the way to becoming an elite young player. So everyone around here is just technically complements each other, which is pretty cool to see, considering this wasn't handpicked. This was just a program that was set up, and they're all right here sitting in their own positions with the same purpose and just bringing up the whole Perth culture. And it's pretty cool to see, man. And switching over to Frank, what can you tell us about Be the Student and when you started it up and why you started it up?
Yeah, I guess for me, early on, primarily it started with me working out kids from my local club, Lakeside, and then expanded very quickly. And then I started working out guys that came back from college. I started working out some of my teammates. I started working out some pro guys as well. So it's just been growing and growing year to year. But I think for me, I just keep to my core foundation, which is trying to help as many kids as I can, and that's in life and basketball as well. So I just try to stick to that. Yeah. And good things have been happening for the kids, for myself. And I try to be more of a a big brother / mentor. Even as funny as it sounds, the kids call me Uncle Frank. There's some truth to that, though.
I like that.
I'm passionate about basketball. And I want to see these kids grow, and then be good people first, and then basketball will come second too.
Definitely.
So I've been, I train kids. I train, pros. I train all levels. It doesn't really matter to me. I'm willing to help any athlete reach their goals, and And then recently I've been doing a lot of AAU stuff in the US. So I've been been coaching with Aussie Prospects, which is run by Ash McCormick and Matt Foster. Been taking local talent from here to the US, and that's been very successful. A lot of kids have got full college offers. Oh, wow. And kids have went on and done some really good things. From that.
No, that's awesome, man. And do you guys have any?
I think it's interesting you say the kids call you uncle.
Right.
I think that's a part of the culture that's now starting to become bigger and more visible here in Perth. But it's also because of the family side of it all. And I know, Adam was touching on community as well. That's a big part of why we're all now able to do the things we do, because of that family that's building of people that are independent but also part of the bigger culture at the same time.
Sorry, Dave. I'll just jump on it and add on to that and saying that, like I said, this is all new. 4 or 5 years ago, there weren't these different guys doing these things. And in a lot of ways, I look at you guys as being pioneers in building this culture and this scene of basketball in Perth. Yep. No matter what city you're in Australia, right? There's the grassroots pathway. There's these junior clubs. People play there and that. But it's so much bigger than that. And like you say, with what you're doing, you're teaching these kids not just about basketball, but life skills. And the thing is, that will translate and build this culture 10 years, 15 years from now. Definitely. Because they'll understand the importance of people like yourselves doing what you're doing now. And if they don't get a professional gig out of this, they're still going to have the love for the game and the love of what the game can do for people's lives and things like that. So
definitely. And going back to you, so for someone that's someone that still has the potential to take basketball seriously, how do you think? What do you think you're going to do moving forward? You're gonna focus on your career playing wise, or focus on your career coaching wise?
Yes, that's a great question because like where I'm at right now, I play for Lakeside Lightning in the SPL team in the state league. Sorry, and I'm at a crossroad because the coaching is going really well. The training is going really well as a skills trainer. But I also I'm young and I can still play and I can still hoop, right? So I'm just deciding, I'm at that crossroad now, but I think my heart is with basketball in general. So I think whether I decide to keep playing or whether I decide to continue my training and my skill development for these athletes,
Yep.
I think I'll be happy with whatever decision I make.
Okay.
So I just gotta continue to get my body right and get healthy, and I think everything will take care of itself, man. Like I can see myself doing both for a long time,
Yep.
and if I continue to play and I get something serious out of it, then I do it.
Yep.
Otherwise, I'm still Uncle Frank. Yeah.
So another question for kids that are out there or guys your age, probably in the same situation, that want to pursue basketball seriously, but they've got other harsh commitments that they're going to commit to, like uni or just restrictions from being able to play.
Yeah.
You as a player that wants to chase a dream, but you also coach. How do you juggle the two, and how do you stay focused and committed to know what you want? What advice would you give those kids trying to chase a dream, but they're too scared because they feel like there's too much, they can't do it?
Yeah, and I'll just give you the truthful answer. I won't even play around with it. It's a mental battle. Like, it is tough.
That's facts.
It is real tough because essentially playing was your first love, right? Like playing was your first love, and then here comes the skills training part. You're teaching it to other kids, but it's still your first love, right? So you can't just forget about that.
Yes.
So the best advice I would give, and I got this advice from a really good friend of mine, was that play for as long as you can. Like, play for as long as you can, and when your body is...
Because once you stop, it is hard to get going again. And I'm at that point now. Like, I'm 35, so I'm trying to play as much as I can, and it's definitely not as much as it was 5 or 10 years ago.
Exactly.
But you don't want to stop.
And I think that's probably the best and honest truth you can give is play as long as you can. Until you're physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, everything. Play as long as you can. And when you can't go no more, then it's probably time to put your hat on and say, I'm back to this now. So yeah.
Correct. And moving on to Coach Morley. What can you tell us about Coach Morley basketball and what inspired it?
So, Coach Morley basketball is at a point now but it's gone through a number of different phases over time as I've travelled around the world, coached in different cultures and different countries. It's just developed, and from 20 years of playing basketball, 15 years of coaching basketball, it's now become a full-time job. So now it's, rather than me trying to do lots of different things, it's now a case of this is what I do. There's no more part-time jobs. And so I spend a lot of time working with younger athletes to make sure, spending loads and loads of time on fundamentals, but not just shooting mechanics, not just ball handling, a lot of time around fundamental strength and conditioning, movement. Because so many things that stop players progressing from training with me to training with Frank and Aussie prospects is they get injured from injuries that are preventable. Nothing's ever 100% preventable, but if you move correctly, if your muscles are strengthened in a way that help stabilize and balance out that movement, you can then execute it at a high speed safely and correctly. Rather than you getting to a point where your ball handling's good, your shooting's good, you've just turned your ankle and it's put you out for 3-4 weeks. Whereas Frank knows, as an elite athlete, you roll your ankle in a game, how long before you're back on the court? Like just a normal land on the edge of someone's foot, turn your ankle. How long till you're back on the court?
Depends how serious the game is. I might get back in a couple minutes later.
But you spent that time as an athlete working on that body in high school, in college, as you're growing up, making sure those joints, those structures are correct. And I think with how the current pathway, what ends up happening is a lot of that gets overlooked for skills. And while a lot of what I do is skills work, especially shooting mechanics, so I study the science side of it and the mechanical side of it, and I can evaluate on the spot what little things are going wrong in someone's technique to be able to help them improve. But I've had enough experience now where I don't jump in every time. I let them shoot 50 shots first. Okay, well, if that happens now, what happens when they start to fatigue? Because that's when you see someone's true nature, when they're tired, when they're fourth quarter, overtime of a game. How good really are you? Or what do you really need to work on? And then you can see patterns. So then someone's release might be off, they might be missing everything right. Instead of me focusing on your release of your hand, now it's a case of maybe your footwork's wrong. Maybe you're too square, maybe you're turned too much, maybe your stance is too wide, your stance is too narrow. Sometimes one correction in footwork leads to the correction automatically happening with the rest of the body because everything's connected. So then you bring that, a little bit of that science and a little bit of the analysis, and you give the players what they need to know about how to make those changes. And this last summer alone, I got 4 people into their first wobble teams.
That's really
just
good,
through
man.
a summer's worth of one-on-one training.
That's awesome, man.
But now it's just finding that balance. So I'm kind of halfway between the two of you. So I still play 3 times a week, but only social comps. And to me, it's generally training. Like 1 time a week, I play a competition where I'm actually pushed and challenged. And like Adam knows what those competitions are like for sure, and Charles, I know you've played in quite a few of them around the city at different stadiums. That's where your playing will get to eventually when you're older. But if you have the opportunity, you have the mental mindset, and you have the physical ability to at least put in that hard work and stay on that grind, you need to chase that for as long as possible while you're young enough before you have commitments and tie downs like partners, like mortgages and jobs, rental, kids. So as you get older, those sort of things, okay, well, I'm not as flexible in, I've got an opportunity to go play in Europe. Okay, cool. Well, now we've got to move. I've now got to, if that happens, or to go coach in Europe. Well, now I've got to uproot 3 people. I have to sort out my mortgage, sort out our leases on our cars, and move into an entire different country. Well, no, I'm not. 5 years ago, that was possible. I mean, I grew up in the UK. I moved here 6 years ago. That sort of thing was possible.
I've
But
got
now
a question.
it's like that.
What would, considering the age group and the people that you work with, what's one good advice or something, what's one good advice you'd give the guys, whether they're too scared to come out or they're not sure where to go, which direction to go? What's one word of advice that you would give them for a reason that they should come to Coach Morley or to any one of these guys?
So that's kind of 2 parts. So if you're serious about training and and you're still young enough to keep working on your game and improving, but you're honest enough with yourself to recognize that my techniques aren't right, my fundamentals aren't right, come see me. We'll get that fixed up real quick. But in terms of sticking to this and progressing, and for a lot of the kids here, that's going to college in America or getting onto SBL teams or playing for the Wildcats D-League team, stuff like that's part of that career progression. If you take a good look in the mirror, because it's not easy. This world, this drive, this passion, and the pathway to go and make it to, even just to make it to college, I can't remember the exact numbers, but it's ridiculous to make it there.
Just on that, like the percentages of going from an under 10 player in a domestic club, not playing wobble, to then making your wobble squad, to then going through that wobble squad, and then trying to find a pathway to a JUCO scholarship or a development spot in an SBL team, and working your way up. Like the percentages get smaller and smaller at each jump. All right, you can continue to do it. The important thing is, and what kids can learn from Uncle Frank and Uncle Morley, is if you love the game, all right, you do not need to be the LeBron James of your competition or your team to make a career or use basketball as a tool or a platform to achieve something.
Okay.
Right? I was not best player. All right. I felt like I was pretty good, but I was right, and I still think that to
You're
this
still
day,
not
right?
bad.
If you put me on the court, I'm gonna feel like the best player out there, right? But I don't have SBL championships. I got Wobble championships, but like I got nothing out there of any real substance that you'd look at and be like, oh yeah, that's so and so, and he did this. Like my success in having a basketball business comes out of my love for the game and my dedication to the game, and that's just consuming stuff as a kid, watching NBA videotapes, VHSs, and then still being amongst, the up and comers and young coaches and stuff. Like you do not, yes, aspire to your dream, but you don't think that your dream, if that's not happening, that you can't do something else meaningful in basketball.
Yeah, and with Frank, I just want to ask, for guys out there, that have had serious injuries like yourself, you're probably the perfect example, which is why I've been holding this question. You're someone that still has the potential to go somewhere with basketball, and someone that's got a huge platform to coach kids, coach elite players, and you're also someone that's recovered from some serious injuries. What advice would you give people that are still trying to come back from an injury? Some people are down. I know once I went through it, I didn't know, what, I'm injured. I don't know if I can ever do this again. I can't play the same anymore. What advice would you give those people?
Once again, I'll just give the most honest answer I can. Like, even I'm still going through that now, But I think it's about finding a really good peace in yourself, understanding, okay, this is where I'm at. And if that's where I want to get to, I'm going to get 1% better today. So if you're injured, for example, for me, I had two ACLs, two full recons. The first one was really challenging, but I got through it, because I was 1% at a time, get better today. And at the time, I just signed a full scholarship to go to the US and play college ball. So it was almost like if I didn't get ready, there was no way I was gonna, stay. They're gonna send me back home. I was gonna be on the first flight back home. The second one was a little bit tougher. So this is where it becomes more of a mental than a physical battle, and that's what a lot of people go through.
Because you know what's coming, right? Like you know what you have to go through.
You got to do. So it's like every day that 1%. It's like, man, it's 1%
harder.
on 0.5%. It's like it gets even harder. So my best advice would be for the guys that are injured and still trying to do something with ball, even kids in general, is that just have that approach. Be honest with yourself. Get really at peace of your mind and know what you want to achieve, and just take it slow, 1% at a time.
It's all about balance, right? Because I'll use myself as an example. In my 20s, all I wanted to do was play. I was a bit of a gym rat, but my gym was right next to a court. So I'll go to my gym after my job, 5 o'clock at night, and I'll see so and so on the court. You got enough players tonight? How many you got tonight? You got 4? I'll fill in for you, and then I won't go to the gym. All right? That's Monday. And I'll go Tuesday. I might get a workout in. Wednesday, oh, you need a game? All right. So I'll pick, and then you stop going to the gym, and then your body starts to break down. So that's what kids need to understand, is that you need that balance of, you don't need to be on the court every single day of the week. You need to put in the work to strengthen your body. And like you said, with 2 ACLs, I've only done 1, so hopefully I never catch up to you.
I've been blessed to do none.
But you need to look at it as an opportunity, okay? Young kids, you get an injury, if you're 16, may put you out 4 weeks, may put you out 6 weeks, 2 months, who knows, right? But use that as an opportunity to build your mental toughness and focus on getting your body stronger, because then that will be able to be applied to your work ethic when it comes to actual on-court stuff, I think.
Yeah. And just closing up, last question, and I want probably all you guys can answer this individually, but what's one thing do you think Perth and WA basketball can input into the basketball society right now that can make a difference to elevating the basketball level and the basketball culture around here? Before we start with Frank.
Growth, man. Just I just really encourage coaches, encourage people that love the game to just keep putting these little events, keep putting these programs out for the kids. A lot of kids, a lot of people in general, like Adam's talking about, or even older cats that they can't go far with basketball, but they want to have fun. Just encourage a lot of people to keep putting these things out there, and it's going to keep growing. Like basketball in Australia, obviously, if you just talk about Perth, right? It's not as big as what it is in Melbourne, obviously because of the population. But I think we're very passionate here, and I think the more more people like us, and the more we expand on that, giving these ideas out and having these programs for people to join, the bigger it gets. Yeah, and that's the only way really. Perth basketball is gonna get better and bigger. Is that we provide more for the people to see.
Yeah, let's get around each other.
Yeah.
What about you, Morley? What do you think?
It's a great question. 100% agree with what Frank's saying. A slightly different way of it would be people need players, coaches, everybody involved in the basketball industry. There's plenty of space for more people.
Yeah.
This industry is by no means full. If you have a passion for the game, reach out to the people already involved and find out how you can be involved. Whether that's through on the court stuff with younger kids, on the court stuff with older kids, on the court stuff with adults, whether that's on the media side of it all, because there's a lot of people like us around this city. And there aren't many people like Paulie, who has worked with all of us. And
Paulie the Godfather.
Paul's a goat, man.
Paulie the puppet master, mate.
but you know what I mean? Like
the man.
there's plenty of space in this industry for a lot more people who like exactly like all of us, who just want to get out there, have the heart in the right place. But make sure you reach out to the people already involved in the industry, and make sure you raise your knowledge on not just the industry, but what it is to be part of it, because this isn't a normal 9-to-5 world. This is weekends, late nights, early mornings.
Yeah, 25 and 8, bro.
25 and 8.
Shout out to Courtney Belgium.
But yeah, no, you're definitely right, man. Like, whether you're a player chasing a dream, you want to be a professional player, you want to play wobble, you want to play SBL, whatever it is, whether you want to coach, or whether you just want to be a development manager or something for helping out with the team. Always ask somebody. Ask a player that's doing the same thing. Ask the coach that's doing the same thing. Ask a volunteer that's doing the same thing. You want to help. Like, basketball is, like he said, there's room for growth everywhere. And that's a very good point. And probably finishing off with Adam, what do you think we got out for Perth that could help us bring this culture up?
Well, culture is definitely a big part, but 2 great points, right? I'm going to put it down to 2 points. So let's think about this.
Yep.
There's competition,
Yep.
and then there's culture.
Yes.
All right. I'm lucky because I train adults. I'm not competing with other coaches
Yep.
for juniors.
Yep.
All right. And I'm not in that space. So I have the luxury of looking back and being like, oh, that's cool. Everyone's coming up.
Yep.
But I know that amongst, and I'm not saying you guys, but I'm saying amongst anyone training juniors, there's competition, right? There's this academy, there's this coach,
Yeah.
you know?
Anybody, bro.
Anybody, right? And, I mean, that's natural, and there's a good part of that.
Yeah.
But at the same time, like, there is so much now that is separate to what basketball WA is,
Correct.
that this is the basketball scene. And to build that culture, you need to tone down that competition a little bit.
Yeah.
Like you said,
Yeah.
there's enough room for everyone to grow, right?
Yeah.
So my thing is for Perth basketball to really explode, and for that next level is to be more collaboration, all right?
So,
And
I
with
agree with
healthy
that.
competition, and that will grow the culture.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. So
No, I think in terms based on the basketball development for players and coaches and more resources, more basketball stadiums in general, and more basketball stadiums, even a 24/7 basketball stadium. I've seen a lot of states with 24/7 basketball stadiums.
Right.
There's guys that
well, the thing is, to get that stuff, you need money, you need capital, you need government backing, right?
Yes.
And the only way you get that is from community support.
Yeah.
The only way you get community support isn't by Coach Morley going off and saying, we need a new court here in, where do you live? Mirrabooka,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
That's not going to work.
Yeah.
Coach Morley's going to need Be the Student. He's going to need
Exactly.
full court fitness. He's going to need everyone else to back that.
Exactly.
Because we do need more courts. We need an example, right? All kind of close to Morley Rec. They're expanding. They're going to put 2 more new courts in, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
You need the input of the community to make sure that the facilities they put in matches what we as basketball aficionados
Yeah.
or passionate people know what's good.
Yeah.
So
yeah.
Man, yeah.
Yeah.
That's it, yeah.
I think one last thing on that though, around the city, one thing I've seen here that I've not seen in other places that I've been to is the giant netball outdoor areas.
Well, I'm not going to complain about that because it means they're not indoor.
That's true. That's
Oh
true.
my
You're
god.
on the point there, bro. Like, yeah.
I'm sure, like, I've seen places in the States where an outdoor park has 6 outdoor courts with proper backboards and proper rims and proper nets.
Hey,
And that's
yeah,
normal.
no,
That's
yeah.
everywhere, right?
I feel like this is a whole separate discussion. We
Yeah,
know
yeah.
that episode on this. I can go deep on this.
Wrapping it up before we get into something that everybody's going to get heated about. We're going to leave it at that. Please tune in on our next episode. Thank you for watching Balls, and tune in for the next story about netball rings.
Hi everyone, it's Paulie the producer, and
Paulie
I
the
just want to
godfather.
thank our guests. Firstly, Coach Morley, Adam Westerhout, and Frank Johnson, and of course our amazing host Charles here. Now you can check out all their details in the description section below. Thank you all again for being part of the first episode, and yes, all the best. Yeah, thanks again.
We got balls on 3.
But balls up 3, guys.
Balls.
1, 2, 3. Balls. Yeah.
Take it away from him. Under 4 left. The barn is alive again. 52-51, Illinois. Griffin.